Question number 51 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 4. The passage and the figure are in agreement that the onset of the Little Ice Age began. So when did the onset of the Little Ice Age begin? And we need to talk about not only the passage, but also the graph. So if we take a look at the graph, the Little Ice Age, they say, occurred, when the temperature dipped, right? So we're talking about like this period roughly to like this period, right? Okay. Maybe even right here. I don't know. And we were talking about, the onset. So we only care about the onset, actually. We only care when it started. So we care about when it started, which is right here. When it started dipping into the colder than now temperatures. So that looks to be a little bit, 1300 is right there. This little dash right here is 1300. So a little bit after 1300. And isn't that exactly what they said before? They said that it happened 750 years ago, which is roughly 1250. That in 2012, they identified that cooling began abruptly in 1275 to 1300. That it got really cold in 1400, 1500, which is like right here. And then don't they say that they found out that this Somalis erupted at the end of the 13th century or the end of the 1200s, which again is like right around when this chart starts dipping into the cold territory. So I think they're in agreement that the onset began around 1150. No, it didn't begin around 1150. This was the medieval warm period, and then we had the crash. It happened roughly around 1300, right? Roughly 750 years ago, between 1275 and 1300, right? End of the 13th century, end of the 1200s. So just before 1300, yeah, maybe. 750 years ago was 1250, 1275 to 1300, end of the 13th century, end of the 1200s. I like that. Ends a little bit before 1300 here. I think the graph is in agreement with that. Let's leave that. Just before 1500? No. 1500 is right here. That's when it started? No, we're already in big temperature decline. And nowhere does it say anything about the 1500s in this piece. They say it got really bad in the 1450s, but it doesn't say anything about 1500. Around 1650, definitely not. Even though 1650 might have been the coldest it ever was, that's not when if we answer the question, the onset of the Ice Age began. When did it begin? When did it start? And it started just before 1300. That's true in the passage, 750 years ago, 1275 to 1300, 13th century. And it's also true in the graph. The answer to number 51 is going to be B.